Hey guys, today I wanted to talk about something that I found on the internet, one of those many news you find. This one is about a Russian citizen suing Bethesda for 500,000 rubles, I think that is how you say it, which is roughly $7,000, for the company failing to warn that Fallout 4 would become so addictive. This is from Engadget, by the way. Apparently this is true according to Engadget, who did talk with Bethesda, and this is the case. Apparently this man went on a, just playing the game for 3 weeks straight. That cost him his health, apparently. His job, apparently he lost it, and his wife, apparently he lost that too. Or maybe he just got in trouble in all of them. He probably didn't lose his health, because he would be dead now and he would be suing. But really the main issue here is not this case, and there are other cases that occurred in the past, and apparently one was even successful, one against NCSoft, a person who got hooked on Lineage 2. Now, it is true that a lot of gameplay is put in place to make the game more addictive. There are games who are solely built around this, most notably Farmville, which is no longer a thing, but it was built around that. Games that are not necessarily games, if you may, because they're just slot machines, those are 100% around just being addictive. One great example that I love to put in is SimCity Build It. That game is built to be addictive. It's, the sounds, the visuals, the little icons, how often you are given this or that, the fact that you need to wait short periods of time to do some stuff, medium range periods of time to do something else, and long range periods of time to do something else, make the game just want you to come back over and over and over to get that little, artificial satisfaction. And many AAA games also pull these kind of things as well. They get, better scores from the users. The users play for longer. It's easy to do, and as a game developer myself, I also have to decide whether I put these things or not. Actually, I made a very sane and non-addictive gameplay. I mean, I guess it's kind of addicting, but not because I made it addicting. It's just because it's fun, I guess. But it doesn't have one of these artificial kind of things. I think really this lawsuit is really about claiming that Bethesda did this. Well, maybe not that they did it on purpose, but that they just didn't, announce, they didn't warn that, watch out, Fallout 4 could be so addictive you could lose your life. I don't think that we should be putting this in games, right? Because, what if somebody does? What if a game, puts that in, right? Then you go, well, this game isn't that addictive. It's a pretty lousy game, It's hard to measure it, right? Because 1 out of millions of people actually get this kind of issue. It's really a personal thing. I mean, most people playing this game aren't losing their jobs. They're not losing their partners. They're not having health issues. Most people I'm talking about. Sure, some people will, but this is really that very old case of just blaming somebody else for your problems. This is really it. I mean, Fallout 4, I've been playing it, as you can see by the images right now. This is a recording that, that video is gonna actually come, I don't know, or it maybe it's already out on the channel, I don't know. The point is that the game is good, okay? It's engaging, okay? It makes you want to come back and try something else or explore a new area. That is all true, but yeah, and I got that feeling, I will admit, long time ago, actually, with Skyrim and also with The Sims 3. Even if I didn't like that one, I did get into a point on which I'm like, man, or even Guild Wars 2, I would say, on which you get that feeling of, man, I want this to be my life. I want this to be everything. I'll just drop all of my projects and I'll get a lousy job and just play this all day and just do this with the rest of my life. That is of course just a split second, then I come back to reality and I live instead. But yeah, sure, I understand where this is coming from. I mean, you can get so immersed in these worlds that you just want to drop everything. You know, you can get to that point. People clearly gotten to that point before, and I'm sure more than once, maybe, if you really like video games, if you really do, and you do get immersed in these kind of games, that you before felt something along those lines. I'm not saying that you did it, I am saying that maybe you felt a little bit of it, like, oh man, I wish I could just do this all my life. Something like that. It's not, I don't believe it's the fault of the developer, but maybe not entirely. Because this is really a personal issue, okay? If you are strong-minded, okay, if you have a strong, I don't want to say soul, but if you do spiritual stuff, like maybe meditating, or you just have a more open-minded view of life, you're a little bit more, you know, less superficial, you don't care about all these fancy gadgets and games and so on. I mean, even if you enjoy them, you know they are artificial means to reach happiness, if you may. If you have at least a little bit of this, just a little bit, then it's really hard to get to that point on which you'll lose everything. And sure, not everybody does that, and not everybody have those insights, and even then don't get to that point. But blaming the developer of the developer of a game, by the way, for losing, I don't know, your life, if you may, I don't know, it sounds a little bit too much. And you know, normally this happens in the US. You know, it can happen in other places, but I don't know. An example, in Argentina, we don't, for all this kind of stuff, like, oh, I got addicted to something and so on, we don't sue anybody. This is unheard of, really. Like, this sounds extremely retarded, and there's no history of this ever happening here. People sue for other stuff, and they make up different lawsuits that never actually occurred, just to, you know, con money out of other people. But you know, just, you know, take advantage of the system. But you know, not this kind of things. And maybe because we're not that many people. Maybe if we had more people, you know, we would have that, you know, 0.001% that will actually be actual people that will actually go ahead and sue. But my point is, this is strange for me. I mean, explaining this from the outside of, like, I guess I could say the outside of the first world, even if, well, yeah, I guess we could say that. It really sounds retarded. Like, stop whining. Get your hands on your life. What? Like, seriously? Just get your feet on the ground for a second, would ya? Like, you are playing a video game. Sure, it's virtual, and I would often argue that real life is also virtual. If you think about it, it's all coming through your senses, but you can't confirm it's there anyways. But that is too philosophical for this video. The point is, that is just retarded. That is just whining. That is not, you know, owning or you know, be responsible of your actions, and just go out there and sue. And that is not even for too much money. I mean, $7,000. What it can get you what? Well, 100 video games. It can get you maybe 4 computers. You know, I'm trying to think of stuff that I know the price of, because I don't know how much it costs to live in Russia. So, you know, maybe $7,000 means you can buy a whole country. Probably not, but no, it's not like that. Seriously, guys. But yes, this is just whining and not taking responsibility of your actions. It really comes down to this. And The world would be a better place if people stop complaining about, oh, life didn't get me this, if oh, I wasn't given these opportunities, whatever. You're not, I mean, you're not being chased by a lion, okay, and having to survive that, okay. And if you are, you're not watching this video. It's pretty simple. You're probably doing it from a very expensive or fairly expensive device that half people in the world can't access to. You're doing this from the comfort of your home, or maybe Starbucks, but you're drinking a coffee that is overly expensive. And you're having a very sedated life, So whenever this stuff happens, it really means, I think, you're just getting way too far from reality, right? And you need to get your feet on the ground and be responsible of your actions. It really comes down to that. Anyways, I wanted to bring this up because I keep complaining that I found these mechanics on certain video games, and it's not necessarily on the case of Fallout 4, addictive mechanics. But yes, everything that is, collectibles and leveling up and so on, all that is just, it is addicting. But it's your responsibility in the end, and that is what No, it's not what I believe. It's really your responsibility. The moment a problem is external, you can't deal with it, okay? And any problem you have is internal, okay? Because you have one, because you have a problem that immediately makes it internal, okay? You're angry at somebody, that's your problem, not the other guy, right? It's like, there was a phrase that went, hating somebody is like setting yourself on fire and waiting for the other guy to get burned. That's not gonna happen. Of course, you are on fire. And as everything, if you have any issue, is probably your fault, and it's yours to correct it. Nobody, the universe is not gonna do anything about it. Okay, and this stuff, like just asking to be babysitted and be told what you should consume or not, or watch out, this could this could harm you this or that way. I mean, we have ratings for that. Maybe we don't have ratings for addictiveness. Maybe we need to create a whole new level of ranking, like maybe PG-13 and rank of addictiveness 3 out of 5. But that is so hard to measure. Really, it wouldn't really even be possible. It's so much easier if you just grow up. That is way easier. Seriously. Anyways, I hoped I didn't get too sidetracked, but I'm probably not gonna be editing this because I'll leave it clean because I'm not lazy. I'm just not gonna take responsibility of talking too much. And yes, that is all. Thank you everybody for watching, and I will see you next time.
Oh, this is the most satisfying thing ever. We are God in SimCity 4. Wow, that was loud. Oh, you're gonna eat that, huh? You're gonna eat it. I see. What? Nothing. Okay.
And now she is tossing that salad with her... Stop sticking your finger in your ear! Alright, she's tossing the salad with her earwax.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
It does him really well. Okay.
Oh, they're coming for you, Pablo!
Shit,
Run!
Oh, yeah. These road trips, man, are killing me. Anyway, let me know whenever we are recording. Hi, and welcome to another episode of Extended Play. I'm your host, this is Stuart, and that is a fancy, fancy sign. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.